I'm Jay from the Bloods. Yeah, and then Dan.
Yeah, I'm Dan from the Bloods, and I'm the lead vocalist.
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great to be here, man. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, mate. So the Bloods have been pretty busy of late, so there's a lot for us to talk about. So we're going to start off with some upcoming gigs. So the first of which is with Frankenbok, Coffin Carousel, Glasshawk, and He Who Sings Vengeance at the legendary Tote in Melbourne on September the 30th. So sounds like a cracking show.
Oh, it's going to be amazing, mate. Building this show was awesome. We just had this idea. This year we want to do Queensland, we want to do Melbourne, and then obviously working with some lovely people in the industry and, yeah, jumping on a show with Frankenbok and Coffin Carousel from down there, and He Who Seeks Vengeance coming for their return show in 3 years. I think it's going to be a cracker.
Good, yeah. And this is actually your own show. You guys are putting it on, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the occasion? Is it just an excuse to play, or is there something special going on?
Boys on tour. That's all it is, Chris.
That's all you need?
We've done the hard work in Newcastle, and we're still doing the hard work around New South Wales. It's getting the hard work and spreading the word throughout the other states, and this is our hard work down south, and that's pretty much about it, man. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, sweet. So you got Frankenbok headline of that one, and those guys have been slaying it this year, mate, since the return with their album Overdose. So you must be looking forward to playing with those guys.
Oh, mate, it's definitely a bucket list moment there. Obviously, with them jumping on board to take the headline spot on the show, it was we were wrapped. Really looking forward to playing with them.
All right, so you've got a few other shows coming up too. Like that's not the only one. So tell us about what else you got.
The next night, we're actually playing a bit more of a rock type show at the Whole Lot of Love down there. So we've got some awesome guys. We've got Stealing Moss. We've got the Dreadful Tides. Those boys are awesome. He Who Seeks Vengeance is jumping on board as well. And we're also bringing our mates down from up this way. Awesome alternative rock band called Glasshawk. They're coming down on the journey as well. They're a really great bunch of fellas.
Sure. And we're going to get into this a little bit more later on, but you guys are relatively new on the scene. You've only been around a couple of years. So how difficult is it for an emerging band, I guess, to put on shows like this with bigger name bands? And it's a bit risky, isn't it?
I'll leave that to you, Jay. Chris, Jay's our man that books our gigs. He goes through all that stress, so I'll push this on to him, bro.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been doing shows for a little while and decided to have a bit more of a serious crack at it. So I actually have a company called Gala Promotions, and with a few other lovely people in the industry as well. So a bit different out there. So yeah, we put on some big mixed bill genre shows throughout the year, and now we're expanding across the East Coast. So it's got some big stuff coming up. Yeah, it's good.
Good on you, boys. Good to see. Now, everywhere I look for information about you guys, the one constant that keeps coming up is that you put on a fucking good live show. You thought I was going to say something else, but you put on a fucking good live show. So explain your typical The Bloods show.
Yep.
It's hard to describe, Chris, to be honest. All of us as musicians come from different backgrounds. So the way that probably the last couple of months we've started describing it is party metal. So rock and roll metal that you can actually dance to. And that's, I think that's probably the best way to describe us with the type of guitar riffs that we put out, the vocal melodies that you can sing along to, and then Jay gives us the beats that you can actually dance to and keep people really, I suppose, intrigued with it. It's a collective clusterfuck that sounds really, really good. That's just it's hard to describe, but it's a bit of party metal. Easiest way to put it, man. Yeah.
When you say music you can dance to, you're not talking the tango or the cha-cha?
No, I'm not, bro. It's ones you can. I've got some good mates that are hip hop dancers that actually dance at our shows. And I've never seen, and they're not even into metal music, but they dance at our shows. And yeah, man, it's something that the everyday person, can bop along to, can dance along to, and just have a really good fun time. And that's, I think, the collective background we've all got comes into play here. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Now, there's probably a few people out there who haven't heard of the Bloods because you have only been around since 2020. So give us a bit of an outline on you guys.
Mate, we formed in very late 2019. We did our EP launch in May. Was it last year, Joe?
Just before COVID, yeah.
Yeah, I know, seems so long, everything's happened. So yeah, essentially, mate, did an EP launch. Yeah, well, it was last year. Sorry, yeah, we did an EP launch May last year. That was great, sold out in Newey. Heaps of friends came. It was really, really good, and just built from there, man. Essentially, sort of built ourselves online with it, and did a great tour up in Brisbane and up in Queensland in May this year as well. With some great bands up there, which really opened our eyes to, I suppose, the type of performances we can look to put on. And we've come back to Newey, put on some really good shows, and now we're looking to go back down to Melbourne, taking all the experiences we've had. And yeah, we've got a fucking kill lineup to put on for Melbourne. It's going to be the best shows we've put on. It's just more so learning from everything we've ever done and making it better every single show.
Yeah, very cool. And you've actually formed during COVID. So how, like, I know you've got nothing to compare it to, but how much more difficult do you think it was for a band like trying to get established and get a name going for yourself in that period where you obviously couldn't play live?
I'll leave that for Jay. I've never been in the band before this one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Quite challenging. Got plenty of time to do the old writing and demoing back and forth with some ideas and things like that. But actually having to schedule shows, book shows, and then cancel shows was definitely hit everyone in the industry, I'm sure. Like, it's just, it was actually, quite challenging compared to the previous years on different things. But the scene starts to be, or seems to be picking back up now, and everyone's starting to find their stride. And hopefully everyone can, recoup from what COVID caused in the industry, and then go on to bigger and better things. So fingers crossed there. But yeah, definitely challenging.
Yeah. So what sorts of things did you do as a band to sort of get your name out there and make sure people didn't forget about you, I guess?
We're pretty active on socials, man. On Facebook and Instagram. We've really picked it up the last couple of months as well. It's just, during COVID, it was really difficult. We couldn't even see each other for a few months, and it was interesting. Like our online chat that we've got on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger, there was almost arguments every 2-3 weeks just because we couldn't see each other, and the communication was getting lost in translation. We'll put it that way. Just all getting sick of it. But when we meet up, it was just good mates all meeting up together again. But it was difficult. But I think it all came to a big fruition when we started playing again. And I think what I found, especially going back to live music, is that people are still a bit nervous when they stand off and go to a show. But when, I'll engage at shows and say, we've been locked up for so long. Come out, and why stand still? Don't be at the back, come up the front, have a party, have a dance. We've all been locked up for so long. Like, get everything out that we've been locked up for so long with. So, but I don't know, Jay, what do you reckon?
We had a bit of an interesting time, but so back to the start question, obviously, like, these guys used to work together, so that's where the BLOODS came from.
Right.
Evolved from there, and then everyone's lives changed and gone in different directions at home. But the band seemed to always find the center and just keep driving forward. So probably refer back to the music we've been writing. So some stuff is really, really heavy. Some stuff has got a really kind of poppy dance kind of groove to it, and it's everyone's bringing their influences in, and we're kind of still evolving, if that makes sense. So the new at the moment, a couple of singles that we've just finished tracking now will probably definitely show that. There's a lot of different stuff in there than what we've done before. Working with some awesome people like Spin Light Studio with Reese Acker. He's done all of our work. He does all our recording for us, mixing and mastering. Andrew, our guitarist, he does a lot of the guitars and bass work himself, so he likes to get hands-on through the process. But we've got some really good people behind us as well that help get there. So we've got one of the best film crews for our film clips you could actually find. Very creative, and AJ does a really good job with that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of film clips, you guys have got a new single and film clip out around November, December-ish called The End. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, man. So this is a new one that we've done. it's actually, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we actually done it in the studio. Essentially, this song is something that everyone can relate to in relating to either losing a loved one or a friend. And it's a song that, you know, that we all have our hard days, whether it be at work, with family, or the kids, and it's a release of emotion, essentially. That's the best way I can describe it. And the film clip for that, we haven't exactly decided on yet, but it's going to be a special one. I think we've only done 2 in the film clips that we've done, but I'm really excited to see what we do with this one, because it's going to be best. I know it, because in my, you know, this is going to be one of the best songs.
Yeah.
Especially live. It's so interactive with the crowd, and it's just such an emotional song that every single person can relate to it. So the film clip is going to be something that everyone can enjoy. And the best part is, I don't know what it looks like yet, because we haven't even done it. So yeah, it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, cool. And is that going to be a standalone single, or part of a bigger album or EP picture?
It's going to be a standalone. We've done that one and another one.
Yeah.
So we don't know which one we're going to release first. Probably going to be the end first. Probably going to release that one first. We've got another song that we've done called Storytellers, which is a pretty bitchin' kick-ass song, like pretty upbeat, pretty in your face, and it's pretty cool. So it'll be released as well, most likely this year too. So we're definitely going to be back out there later this year for sure.
Very cool, guys. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time tonight. There's a lot happening there. The first of which, as we say, is September 30th at the Tote. So where can people grab tickets for that?
Via OzTix. So yeah, there's still tickets available at the moment. $25. I know, actually $20.95, including booking fee for this one. $25 on the door, but yeah, grab some pre-sales and let's go.
Beautiful, guys. All right, good talking to you.